It was pretty cold outside and I wanted to make a warming dish with a butternut squash I got from the market earlier that day. I cut it in half, scooped out the middles, and while I was doing that I had a thought about how it might be quite nice to fill them before roasting. I oiled them up, got a couple of garlic cloves into each half and spooned in loads of ricotta. My hope was that as the squash baked, the garlic would slowly cook and the ricotta would firm up and char in places all at the same time. This could be the perfect base for a salad or even a soup. While the squash baked, I had to think about where to go next. Great salads and soups need crunch, so I got a load of walnuts chopped up. Their flavour also complements squash and ricotta really well. To max out fragrance, I got them roasting alongside the squash in the oven until golden and toasty. I now had to think about a dressing to top my salad or soup with. I got parsley picked down, chopped up and into a bowl to form a nice grassy base. I had kind of gone off the idea of a salad by this point, but I did still have some radicchio. It's a really vibrant bitter leaf used a lot in Italian cooking. I chopped it up super finely and got it in with the parsley. The idea here was that the bitterness could play off the sweetness of the squash and creaminess of the ricotta. It also added some really nice colour. Once the walnuts had cooled, I chucked them in along with the vinegar to cut through the ricotta and fat from the nuts, oil for texture, then salt and pepper, and gave everything a good mix. It reminded me a little of a pasta dish I had a while ago where heavy parmesan was counteracted with a rich but acidic salsa verde. This got me thinking. I got orzo into a pan, then once the squash was ready and the ricotta had been transformed, I scooped out the cheese to a plate ready for serving later. I got most of the squash in with the orzo, squeezed in the garlic and added butter to help form an emulsified sauce later on. I covered with water, then got the pan over the heat to cook the pasta and break down the squash and garlic. Once the sauce had reduced to a glaze that coated the now soft pasta, I took the pan off the heat, grabbed a bowl and spooned in half. I topped with the remaining squash, gnarly ricotta, spooned over the radicchio dressing and finished with oil. The sweetness from the squash played off the bitterness from the dressing really well here. A handful of parmesan and some good stock could have taken it to the next level.